obviously I made a decision to get one of them. Laid out like this now because the police rushed me. He bit a hole in my belly button. Guys, when you're dealing with anger issues and you're coming from somebody who knows, because I dealt with this my whole life, just angry, can't wait to get off, not thinking, being impulsive. It cost me a lot of time, over 10 years of my life in prison. هذا حد العالم، هذا طالب، هذا راسخ وإلى آخره. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. To all RipRight YouTubers and viewers, welcome back to a new video on RipRight HD. You already know what time it is. It's time for another prison story. So we explained last time how there was Muslim or Muslim combat. And unfortunately in the prison system, this happens a lot, especially when you're in places where the Muslims or dominant, or let's say high in number. Same as more black people, then it's going to be a lot of black on black crime. More white people, obviously more white on white crime. Whatever the case is, if it's a lot of the same in the same vicinity, for the most part, sometimes, especially in prison, you have a lot of inter-fighting, so to speak. Also, guys, listen, 718-865-2873. Make sure you text the number to join the community so you can sign up to get the post notifications of where we're going to be, when we're going to be, and when are we working out. It's all free, and we just started it back up, so we're rocking and rolling. So let me give you a little brief history on what goes on in the feds and how the feds work if you're not from the feds. And if you are or from the feds, or if you did time in the feds, you understand exactly what I'm saying. So in the feds, they have cars. A car means a group, a clique, a particular city. And usually everything goes by cities, especially like if you're in New York, a New York jail, you're going to have like the New York car, the Connecticut car, the Boston car, the Muslim car. You might have the Christian car, the Jamaican car. You have Nieta car, then you know, and it kind of goes on like that. In certain spots you have, give or take, different cars. So in the feds, obviously there's Muslims in every single car, but whatever car you choose, obviously that's who your alliance is with. So if you come in and you choose the Muslim car, that means when it's time and the Muslims have an issue with New York and you're from New York, but you're with the Muslim cars, then you have to ride out with the Muslims. Or, you know how that goes. Or if you're with the New York car and the Muslims have beef and we go at New York, or New York comes at the Muslims, obviously you're going to be fighting other Muslims because they decided to hold the alliance or the allegiance with their city instead of the Muslim, or whatever the case may be. So now this situation happened, obviously, again with Philly. And trust me, city of brotherly love. I love Philly. I got a lot of bros in Philly. However, Philly is predominantly, I can't say predominantly, but it's a lot of Muslims in Philly. I'm not sure the ratio, the number, or whatever the case may be. So everybody is not on the same page. So the Pennsylvania car obviously has a lot of guys in Philly, the PA car. And a lot of those guys that's from Philly in the PA car is obviously Muslim. And we also have Muslims in the Muslim car who is from PA. So it's just like a crazy situation. So you guys tell me if I was wrong or if I was right at the end of this story. Now we know inna bayna rajul wa bayna shirk wal kufr wa tark as-salah. Like between a man and between disbelief and associating partners with God is the abandonment of the prayer. So sometimes the guys that's dealing with the Philly car or the PA car, they might not be praying. So other guys that's with the Muslims are saying, yo, he ain't Muslim, he ain't praying. Or if he's already pledge allegiance to that particular city or state, they be considering him not Muslim. It's wild in the feds. They make all kind of hukum. You know what I mean? All kind of verdicts. However, that's not for me. That's above my pay grade, right? So this is what happened. I went up for a layup, right? Let me show you how things go. I went up for a layup on the basketball court. It rolled out, and while it was rolling out, a dude about 220 pounds, 210 pounds, he went and grabbed the rebound. And when somebody is coming down with the rebound, you stick your hand under and try to knock the ball out while they coming down. While I did that, he came down on my foot. So I fractured my third metatarsal in my toe. So my foot was done. I was cooked. They had to carry me to the infirmary. I was on crutches, out for the season in the basketball playoffs and everything. So I'm walking with crutches every day. So I get to the mess hall with my crutches on this particular day. Now, there's a Muslim brother that's also on my unit. So I know he's, fully into the deen. He's praying. He's doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. He's striving. But he's from Philly. Now, and, a lot of beefing goes on with other Philly Muslims. And it's just like a lot of things that's going on. I can't even remember why this particular beef started. But I found out later, but I can't remember now why that issue started. But however, I'm in the mess hall, and the Muslim table is like 3 tables. So like as long as this table, like 3 of these. So it's a lot of us just lined up, sitting down. However, a lot of the brothers that's on go time, 𝗪𝗏𝗪, one of my next bros, alhamdulillah, Yusuf, he wasn't there. It was a couple of bros that ain't low tolerance, and alhamdulillah, they wasn't there because it might have would have turned into a riot. So mind you, I'm in the mess hall, I'm sitting down, I got my tray, I'm ready to eat, I got my crutches lying next to the table right next to me, and then all I hear is I look over. Now the Philly table is like right behind us. It's like a salad bar, and then right there, that's the Philly table behind us. So there's brothers here, So I'm facing the brothers here, and they facing me. And then behind them is the line when you coming in the mess hall, because the mess hall had 2 sides. So you can either come in through this side and go through the line and feed on that line, or you could go through the next door and feed on the next side. So they dusting somebody something severe. Mind you, they kicking him in the head. They had the state boots on, and them joints was heavy, them state boots. So I'm looking over, and automatically I see it's 3 Muslims stomping a dude out. So the 3 Muslims that stomping a dude out, they don't sit at the Muslim table. So obviously their allegiance is not with the Muslims. Alhamdulillah, that's their choice. But they consider themselves, or they ascribe to be Muslim, but they are all from PA. 2 of them was from Philly, and 1 of them was from like the outskirts of Philly. So they beating on this dude. And when I look over, I'm trying to see who are they cooking like this, because I can't really do too much crazy movements because my whole 1 foot is done. I can't do nothing really. So, I'm like, wow. And they doing him like that right by the Muslim table. So I'm like, I'm like, that's not a Muslim. But still, it's violation. They cooking him right there. By the time I look over, and this dude is getting up, and the police is rushing over, and they get him up off the floor. When they get him up off that floor, it was the Muslim brother from my housing unit, Abdurrahman. So I'm furious. I'm talking about I am pissed off. So when they grab him, boom, he comes to or whatever. I see one of the bros, Scooter, he ran over by the salad bar, to kind of like evade the police. Then the next guy, I don't know where he went, and the other guy kind of was like still standing there, so they grabbed him too. His name was, I believe, Smash. Yeah, Smash. I forgot the other guy's name, but he was a cool dude. I was cool with all of them. However, Scooter was murdered. Obviously, he came home and somehow, they killed him in Philly. He did like 8 years, went in pretty young, came out 25, 26. They murdered him in Philly. It was dope, nasty and ball. We used to play, we used to joke. That was my man. We was cool. Smash was kind of new to the jail. Kind of had some influence on the Philly car, whatever. But there was some older cats with life that also had influence on the Philly car. So I'm like, they can't get away with that. It's gonna make us look weak. Automatically it's like a lot of things are running through my mind. And in prison is the last thing that you want to do is look weak. Unfortunately, you don't want to run off of ego, but sometimes there are things that you have to do that you don't really want to do to kind of set an example. So in reality, even though they wasn't with the Muslim car, people kind of consider them to still be like into fighting. But I felt like, no, they with the Philly car. So they can't come over to the Muslims table, stomp a Muslim out. You know what I'm saying? And just walk off. I wasn't having it. So obviously I made a decision to get one of them. But I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. I couldn't do nothing. So what I did, I just turned around on my stool and faced that way, because obviously they had the Muslim brother that was just stomped out. Then they had the other dude that was stomping him out. They got him. So after they walked the Muslim brother by, they cuffed the other dude. If I could have got over there in time, or if I was walking, I would have got to him before he got cuffed. So I didn't just do him in because he was cuffed. And I didn't really do him in. I couldn't, so I lined up. I said, you know what? I got to get him on the way by. I'm going to the box. I only got 2 months left to go home. But that wasn't on my mind at that time. I was furious. So he's coming by, and I try to take his head off. 𝗪𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗪. May Allah forgive me for my sins. Was it the right thing to do? Of course not. I don't think so. In retrospect, thinking about it, he was a Muslim. Obviously they did what they did. So 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I got him. And when I got him, somehow the police rushed me. So I fell on the table. He got at me too, because I didn't get him. Obviously, I didn't get him good enough, because usually when I get a dude like that, him's supposed to be gone. So, I didn't get him too good. He, I'm on the table, laid out like this now because the police rushed me. Then he fell on top of me. Now he bit a hole in my belly button. It was because him didn't have no hands. So so it was just like, wow. They get him off me. Another lifer that was Muslim, but he was with the PA car. All the other brothers kind of like jumped up that was with the Muslims, and then he had a knife. He kind of like backed the knife out, and him and the Imam had a little back and forth right then and there, but nobody else did anything. Alhamdulillah, it didn't start nothing crazy, because I probably would have still been in there behind that. Who knows what would have happened? Somebody would have died. It was just like a foolish, fast situation. And I went right to the box. They got Scooter. They ended up getting the next Muslim brother. And then, obviously they already had Smash. And then the brother that got stomped out, they had him in the box too. So me and him ends up becoming cellies. And we just in there. I'm doing 1-leg burpees. I'm still doing pull-ups. I made a dope pull-up bar in the box. And we was talking, and he was like, when I get home, I'm killing them dudes. Come to find out, he was some vicious Philly dude out there, guns and murderous, and I was trying to talk him out of that, like, you know, and then he told me the story, but I can't even remember why they was beefing. It was like a little altercation for no reason, and they stomped him out right then and there. And that's how that particular story ended. Once again, I'm putting my hands on a Muslim. Obviously, guys, when you're dealing with anger issues and you're coming from somebody who knows, because I dealt with this my whole life, just angry, can't wait to get off, not thinking, being impulsive. It cost me a lot of time, over 10 years of my life in prison. And then while being in prison, a lot of box time. Why? Because I was impulsive. I was angry. I didn't know how to control my anger. I racked up sin after sin after sin after sin, because I was never a good talker, meaning I can speak, but as far as hashing out a situation, that wasn't me. If I was angry, it wasn't no talking, it was doing. And as a grown man now, I've learned how to sometimes and control that anger. So if you're young, if you're old and you still have this problem, trust me, in 1 second you could be looking at life in prison because you got angry. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he was asked about advice, you know, give me some good advice from one of the companions, he said, La taghdab. Do not get angry. And he advised them 3 times. When you get angry, man, it's so much that could happen. You could black out. You could wake up with a homicide in central bookings. It's serious. So guys, if you're watching this and if you understand, you feel my pain when it comes to anger, just know you have to find some way to come to terms with your anger and how you deal with it. And I'm still learning that today with everybody in my family, with my friends, with my whoever. I'm still learning, because sometimes a trigger might happen so fast that triggers it, and you have to catch it. And if you don't catch it, you could be you're gonna make somebody else a victim, but you're also gonna be the victim, because when you go to prison and you basically get victimized in there, whether people are robbing you or not. But you got guards telling you to bend over, spread your rectal area. It's just so much things that goes on in prison. You become a victim. I don't care who you are, the toughest, all of them are victims. So guys, hope you got some benefit from that story, and we ask that Allah forgive us for our sins. Stay tuned, stay rip. 6-pack, big back, big facts.
Indeed, in the body, literal translation, is a lump of flesh, a piece of meat. إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. And when that lump of flesh